Well, the travel and tourism industry is expected to reach over $927 billion this year. That's according to Statista. And companies are looking to cash in, of course. So Get Your Guide, a digital platform to book travel experiences, is launching its first national marketing campaign in North America, focusing on the US. To tell us more about the growth of the brand, Tao Tao, Get Your Guide co-founder and COO, is here. Thank you for joining us this morning. So talk about getting your name out here in the US, because obviously a lot of people know your platform in Europe.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you so much for having me. Yes, indeed. So we think very much the trend in the last couple of decades that experiences are bought more than things is become abundantly clear. And what we now think is that this is the prime time to build a household brand for travel experiences. So as you said, we've built our legacy over the last decade in Europe, where we've started. But now we're really taking this to the United States, where consumer demand for travel experiences is higher than ever. It's undisturbed by the economic uncertainty, and very much drives the passion and the diversity of people what they're seeking when they travel.
So how are you looking to position yourself in the U.S. market? You know, we were talking about where Get Your Guide is in the travel space. Viator, a name that popped up as a potential competitor. And how are you looking at your offerings and how you kind of break through the crowd?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's worthwhile to start with the founding belief that we had when we started the company about 15 years ago. Our belief was very much that the future of travel will be guided. So when you think about going to a destination, that you don't just stumble upon random things to do, but that you have someone to guide you towards the things that are truly beneath the surface, that are unique, that are authentic. And it's this singular belief that drove us to build a pure play company. And so that is really the core differentiation that we've built. So it's not a travel company, because if you think about travel, travel isn't a passion. Nobody says, you know, I love my non-reclining seat on an airline, or maybe the crappy hotel room, but think about the sights and the nature and the food. And that is what we've built, a pure play company for travel experiences. And, you know, we've been doing this for a decade, if you will, but really just getting started. And the unique selling point that we have is really that we have been doing this for more than a decade with a tremendous amount of focus.
And I want to ask you about some of your latest developments, your partnerships with Air India, and of course on the OpenAI platform, the GPT platform as well there. Who are you trying to target in terms of your audience, especially as you broaden out into North America?
Yeah, absolutely. The target audience that we target is very much what we call modern explorers. So modern explorers are customers who are curious, who are willing to explore, willing to learn. And really, you can find that segment of customers anywhere. And partnerships like the one we did with Air India, but many others in the US, like Amex or Lonely Planet, really taps into this consumer segment that want to live for their passions. So if you think about our experience creators, the ones that deliver those experiences, those are a lot of small mom and pop stores really focus on creating and tailoring those bespoke type of experiences. And we try to match that against this overwhelming consumer demand that wants to live their passions when they travel.
Tao, the travel industry, always a good gauge of the broader macro environment, where the consumer sentiment is right now. What are you finding on your platform? Are consumers already planning ahead to the summer in the way that you saw last year with this revenge travel? Or are you finding that they're turning a little more cautious?
So travel is extremely resilient, and we saw this already last year and this year as well. If you look at air capacity, it just keeps going up because people have this insatiable desire to travel. And when we look at our own data, so what we saw is in our surveys, 97% of Americans said they plan at least one leisure trip. And of everybody we surveyed, they said they would either maintain or increase their spending on travel experiences. So the resilience of the travel experience sector is something that we see that's very, very strong. It's number one. And the second part is where people go. So what we see is very interesting is, especially last year, Americans just came back really in droves into Europe and into major European hubs, as well as American hubs. And we see, especially for next year, that people are planning a lot of trips, especially to Central and South America, which is also why we're growing our footprint there with the Mexico office opening.
So Tao, if you're a travel company, an experience company out there, and you're looking to work with a platform like yours, one thing that they always look at is commissions. How competitive are you on commissions?
The way we think about our experience creators is how we can add value. So let's take you briefly to what experience creators exist. On one hand, you have really the independent creators and the small entrepreneurs with their mom and pop business trying to stand out against the large theme parks and attractions. And on the other hand, all the way up to the other side of the spectrum, you have iconic sites, iconic institutions, museum, theme parks. So the challenge that a lot of our experience creators ask is, yes, commission is a part of the equation, but the main part is, how do I really stand out? How do I really differentiate my offering? Because unlike in hotels, it's not just about a room where you sleep in, is it price A or price B? But people ask the question, how should I spend my time in New York City, in Austin, Texas, or in Cancun? And so the question is, how do I stand out? And our main value that we can give is to drive insights to these experience creators, to tell them how they can stand out, how they can differentiate, and use technology to really bring the offering to the fore.
Okay, well, interesting to see you expand your footprint here in the U.S. Tao Tao, GetYourGuide co-founder and COO. Good to talk to you today. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.